I'm TJ.
And this is Warrior Showdown Season 2.
It is Season 2. Fight 4. And this is one of those fights
Oh my gosh, this was so polarizing.
Oh man, it makes people crazy. And there's a lot of reasons. Number one, people say, biker chick, that's not a real warrior. But then that calls into question, what is a warrior? A warrior is somebody who commits their life to making war. And she does that. So this fight has all kinds of challenges.
Oh my gosh.
Number one, she's using a non-rigid weapon. And that makes it highly unpredictable. You cannot control it in the same way that you can control a sword or a staff. Dustin and Kat worked a lot so that even though the chain does take on a little bit of a life of its own, they found a way how it can have relatively consistent results. Kat would go between using a real chain and a plastic chain depending on what the shot demanded. So some of the time it's plastic and some of the time it is a full-on metal chain. With the plastic, anytime you see him getting hit, it's probably the plastic one. She was not choreographed to fall there.
That was unplanned.
But it worked, and her
laugh.
And they stayed in it.
It was awesome.
When we take this huge, strong, sword-fighting Scotsman and we pit him against a smaller girl, you have to find some way that you can justify him not just instantly cutting her in half. And one of the ways that we wanted to play with that is by giving her a weapon that forces him to stay at a range. And then when they do get in range, by tangling and tying him up. And it was fun. It was really fun. His weapon is not useful or effective at close range. It becomes a liability.
And he's using a claymore, so it is much longer than a normal sword that like a knight would use.
It's like as tall as Natalie.
Yeah, it pretty much is.
But he's not a wuss. He can also headbutt her. This shot right here where Dustin hits that chain, he really did it in the shot. First try, and then turns to camera and goes, I got it! I'm like, dude!
Just ruined the shot!
First take, you get it, you're right, that is amazing, you're awesome, and now we can't use that piece. But the two of them were so game to go on this wild choreography journey and explore movement in a lot of alternative ways, and to play with different ways to tangle each other up and rotate around each other's body and
get on each other's backs like this and kick off stone
and keep each other safe. They also, I think, were most impacted by the environment out of all of the fights because they're the only ones that really have any interaction with it.
Right.
And so they came and rehearsed on the day where we were shooting the other people's fights, so
we could get a feel for it.
They're doing their business while we're shooting. The other thing that's worth the note is, while I worked with every team as we were putting these fights together, Azim is actually the on-set director for this particular one because I'm sitting about 100 yards away getting werewolf prosthetic supply. And it's about a 3-hour makeup job, so I could shout things to them, but Azim and I went over the game plan, and Kat and Dustin knew what was going to be happening, so we had our plan in place so that we could not slow down, not increase our production period, and every team would be a well-oiled machine, and it really worked out.
It worked really well. Azim was fantastic. Kat and Dustin were on their game, so you know, it wasn't like they had to rely heavily on anyone else other than themselves.
Right. So Azim was eyes on monitor and making sure all the hits played and they crossed the appropriate lines. This fight has a lot of contact hits, maybe more than any of the other fights. And by contact, I don't mean they really hit each other, but their choreography, the character makes contact with the other character.
Because that's what biker chicks do. They're brawlers. She's
a brawler. She enjoys this, and I think that needs to show that she enjoys fighting.
Yeah. And a lot of people gave us a lot of guff for being like, this totally wouldn't happen. But I mean, how awesome and fun is this fight? Look at them. They're having, well, she's having a lot of fun. And then look at that. You got your requisite booby shot.
That was Kat's idea. She once she knew that she had the switchblade, she was like, what if I had them all over the place? What if one popped out of my corset? I was like, yes! I mean, what an awesome finishing move. And so I am glad that you guys got to see that version because it is a really cool kill move.
Yeah.
But people were mad that she won because either they don't think she's a warrior, or they're sexist, or they just genuinely prefer the Scottish Highlander. But that's kind of what Warrior Showdown is all about. Who would really win in real life has no relevancy. It is
no historical accuracy here, obviously.
Obviously, a modern day biker chick would not fight a Scottish Highlander under any circumstances. But under these circumstances, even though it was really, really evenly divided who wanted who to win, biker chick tipped them out. We'll see you guys next time.